Frisia or Friesland is a coastal region along the southeastern corner of the North Sea in what today is mostly a large part of the Netherlands, including modern Friesland, and smaller parts of Germany. Frisia is the traditional homeland of the Frisians, a Germanic people who speak Frisian, a language group closely related to the English language. Names: the names for Frisia in the local languages are West Frisian, Friesland, North Frisian, Frisia paragraph NJ, Frieska paragraph N, Friesgluin, Friesklun, and Friesla paragraph N. Unregistered trademark. Hollander is the local variation of North Frisian spoken on the island of Heligoland. Unlike other North Frisian varieties, it shows signs of some influence from the Low German language instead of Danish. Sater Frisian, Fra currency Island. East Frisian Low Saxon, Friesland. Gronings, Friesland. German and Dutch, Friesland. Danish, Friesland. When the French occupied Frisian territory, the name for one department was Frise. In English, both terms, Frisia and Friesland, are used. Divisions: Frisia is commonly divided into three sections. West Frisia corresponds roughly to the Friesland province named Friesland in Frisian, including parts of historical West Friesland, namely Vlieland, containing Zuidwest Friesland municipality, constituted as Friesland Department, Batavian Republic, Fries, French. Groningen Province, northern parts of North Holland Province, including parts of West Friesland, including West Friesland. East Frisia or Eastern Friesland in Lower Saxony, Germany corresponds roughly to East Frisia in a more narrow sense, Leer District, Aurich District, Whitman District, Emden Municipality. East Frisia in a wider sense, Friesland District, Wilhelmshaven Municipality, Saterland Municipality in the district of Kloppenburg, Buttgerdingen Peninsula and Municipality in the district of Westermarsch, Landwessen Municipality in the district of Cuxhaven. North Frisia or Northern Friesland and Schleswig-Holstein, Germany corresponds roughly to the western and central parts of the Nordfriesland district, Heligoland Municipality in the district of Pinneberg. The three groups of the Frisian Islands stretch more or less correspondingly along these three sections of the German Bight coast. West Frisia corresponds roughly to the Dutch province of Friesland, the northern part of North Holland province, and also modern Groningen province, though the Western Frisian language is only spoken in Friesland proper. Dialects with strong Frisian substrates, including Low German and Low Franconian, are also spoken in West Frisia. In the northern province of Groningen, people speak Gronings, a Low Saxon dialect with a strong Frisian substrate. Until 1942 Vlieland belonged to North Holland, then the Germans changed it to Friesland. East Frisia includes areas located in the northwest of the German state of Lower Saxony, including the districts of Aurich, Leer, Whitman and Friesland, as well as the urban districts of Emden and Wilhelmshaven, the Saterland, the Landwessen and former Rawon-Quartestringen. East Frisia is also the name of a historical county in that area. The German name Ostfriesland distinguishes the former county from Ostfriesland, which means the whole eastern Frisian area. The portions of North Frisia within the German state of Schleswig-Holstein are part of the district of Nordfriesland and stretch along the coast, including the coastal islands from the Ida River to the border of Denmark in the north. The North Sea island of Heligoland, while not part of Nordfriesland district, is also part of traditional North Frisia. Maps Frisia, overview. Languages: 500,000 Frisians in the province of Friesland in the Netherlands speak West Frisian. Several thousand people in Nordfriesland and Heligoland in Germany speak a collection of North Frisian dialects that are often unintelligible to each other. A small number of Saterland Frisian language speakers live in 4 villages in Lower Saxony, in the Saterland region of Kloppenburg County, just beyond the boundaries of traditional East Frisia. Many Frisians speak Low Saxon dialects, especially in East Frisia, but also in West and North Frisia. History: Frisia has changed dramatically over time, both through floods and through a change in identity. It is part of the supposed Nordwest Bloc, which is a hypothetical historic region linked by language and culture. Roman times: the people, later to be known as Frisia, began settling in Frisia in the 6th century BC. According to Pliny the Elder, in Roman times, the Frisians lived on terps, man-made hills. According to other sources, the Frisians lived along a broader expanse of the North Sea coast. Frisia at this time comprised the present provinces of Friesland and parts of North Holland and Utrecht. Early Middle Ages equals. Frisian presence during the early Middle Ages has been documented from northwestern Flanders up to the Weser River estuary. According to archaeological evidence, these Frisians were not the Frisians of Roman times, but descendants from Anglo-Saxon immigrants from the German Bight, arriving during the Great Migration. By the 8th century, ethnic Frisians also started to colonize the coastal areas north of the Ida River under Danish rule. The nascent Frisian languages were spoken all along the southern North Sea coast. Today, the whole region is sometimes referred to as Greater Frisia or Frisia Magna. Distant authors seem to have made little distinction between Frisians and Saxons. The Byzantine Procopius described three peoples living in Britain: Angles, Frisians and Britons, and the Danish author of Natsdra Par celebrating the 11th century Canute the Great used Frisians as a synonym of English. The historian and sociologist George Homans has made a case for Frisian cultural domination in East Anglia since the 5th century, pointing to distinct land holdings arrangements in carucates, partible inheritance patterns of common lands held in by kin, resistance to manorialization and other social institutions. Some East Anglian sources called the mainland inhabitants Warnii, rather than Frisians. During the 7th and 8th centuries, Frankish chronologies mention the northern Low Countries as the kingdom of the Frisians. According to medieval legends, this kingdom comprised the coastal Zeeland provinces of the Netherlands, from the Scheldt River to the Weser River and further east. Archaeological research does not confirm this idea, as the petty kingdoms appear to have been rather small and short-lived. The earliest Frisian records name four social classes, the Aethelings and Frielings, who together made up the Free Frisians, who might bring suit at court, and the Leiten or Leiten with the slaves, who were absorbed into the Leiten during the early Middle Ages, as slavery was not so much formally abolished, as evaporated. The Leiten were tenants of lands they did not own and might be tied to it in the manner of serfs, but in later times might buy their freedom. The basic land-holding unit for assessment of taxes and military contributions was, according to Homans, the plug or teen, which, however, also passed under other local names. The teen was pledged to supply 10 men for the heer, or army. Plug or teen formed a unit of which the members were collectively responsible for the performance of any of the men. The plug or East Frisian rot was a compact holding that originated with a single lineage or kinship, whose men in early times went to war under their chief, and evolved in medieval times into a union of neighbors rather than kith and kin. Several, often 3, plugs were grouped into a bera, whose members controlled and adjudicated the uses of pasturage which the plugs held in common, and came to be in charge of roads, ditches and dikes. 12 plugs made up a long hundred, responsible for supplying 100 armed men, 4 of which made a go. Homans' ideas, which were largely based on studies now considered to be outdated, have not been followed up by continental scholars. The 7th century Frisian realm under the kings Ordegisel and Redbad, had its centre of power in the city of Utrecht. Its ancient customary law was drawn up as the Lex Frisianum in the late 8th century. Its end came in 734 at the Battle of the Bourne, when the Frisians were defeated by the Franks, who then conquered the western part up to the Lauwers. Frankish troops conquered the area east of the Lauwers in 785, after Charlemagne defeated the Saxon leader Widukind. The Carolingians laid Frisia under the rule of Gruen, a title that has been loosely related to count in its early sense of governor rather than feudal overlord. During the 7th to 10th centuries, Frisian merchants and skippers played an important part in the international luxury trade, establishing commercial districts in distant cities as Sigtuna, Hedeby, Ribe, York, London, Duisburg, Cologne, Mainz, and Worms. The Frisian coastal areas were partly occupied by Vikings in the 840s, until these were expelled between 885 and 920. Recently, it's been suggested that the Vikings did not conquer Frisia, but settled peacefully in certain districts, where they built simple forts and cooperated and traded with the native Frisians. One of their leaders was Rorik of Dorestad. Upstalsboom League During the 12th century, Frisian noblemen and the city of Groningen founded the Upstalsboom League under the slogan of Frisian freedom to counter feudalizing tendencies. The league consisted of modern Friesland, Groningen, East Frisia, Harlingerland, Jever and Rawon-Kortestringen. The Frisian districts in West Friesland west of the Zuiderzee did not participate, neither did the districts north of the Ida River along the Danish North Sea coast. Former were occupied by the Count of Holland in 1289, the latter were governed by the Duke of Schleswig and the King of Denmark. The same holds true for the district of Landwersen east of the Weser River. The Upstalsboom League was revived in the early 14th century, but it collapsed after 1337. By then the non-Frisian city of Groningen took the lead of the independent coastal districts. 15th century. The 15th century saw the demise of Frisian republicanism. In East Frisia, a leading nobleman from the Serksner family managed to defeat his competitors with the help of the Hanseatic League. In 1464 he acquired the title of Count of East Frisia. The King of Denmark was successful in subduing the coastal districts north of the Ida River. The Dutch provinces of Friesland and Groningen remained independent until 1498. By then Friesland was conquered by Duke Albert of Saxony-Meissen. The city of Groningen, which had started to dominate the surrounding rural districts, surrendered to Count Edzard of East Frisia in 1506. The city conveyed its remaining privileges to the Habsburg Empire in 1536. The district of Buttgerdingen was occupied by the Count of Oldenburg in 1514, the Landwersen by the Prince Bishop of Bremen in 1525. Modern age. In the early 16th century, the pirateer Pierre Golofstonia challenged Saxon authority in Friesland during a prolonged guerrilla war, backed by the Duke of Guelders. He had several successes and was feared by Holland authorities, but he died as a farmer in 1520. According to the legend he was 7 feet tall. A statue dedicated to him has recently been installed in Kimswert. In the 1560s many Frisians joined the revolt led by William of Orange against the Habsburg monarchy. In 1577 the province of Friesland became part of the nascent Dutch Republic, as its representatives signed the Union of Utrecht. The city of Groningen was conquered by the Dutch in 1594. Since then, membership of the Dutch Republic was perceived as a guarantee for the preservation of civil liberties. Actual power, however, was usurped by the landowning gentry. Protests against aristocratic rule led to a democratic movement in the 1780s. Modern regionalism. During the late 19th and early 20th century, Frisian freedom became the slogan of a regionalist movement in Friesland, demanding equal rights for the Frisian language and culture within the Netherlands. The Frisian language and its urban dialects are spoken by the majority of the inhabitants. In East Frisia, the idea of Frisian freedom became entangled with regional sentiments as well, though the Frisian language had been replaced by Low German dialects as early as the 15th century. In Groningen, on the other hand, Frisian sentiments faded away at the end of the 16th century. In North Frisia regional sentiments concentrate around the surviving Frisian dialects, which are spoken by a sizable minority of the population, though Lower German is far more widespread. Frisian territories West Friesland was conquered by the County of Holland in 1289. The district, which also comprised the islands of Wieringen, Texel, and Vlieland, had its own seats in the estates of Holland and West Friesland. When Province of Holland was split up in 1840, West Friesland became a part of North Holland. The name of West Friesland has also been used by an intercommunal administrative board and a drainage board. Friesland became an independent member of the Dutch Republic in 1581. It is now a Dutch province, in 1996 renamed as Friesland. The islands of Terschelling, Ameland, and Monnikhoek were independent seigneuries, which were integrated into the province of Friesland during the 19th and 20th centuries. Groningen, formerly Stad en Land, became an independent member of the Dutch Republic in 1594. Now it is a Dutch province. As a rule, its inhabitants do not consider their province as a part of Frisia, though the area has many cultural ties with neighbouring East Frisia. East Frisia was an independent county since 1464, later a principality within the Holy Roman Empire until 1744. By then, it was annexed by the Kingdom of Prussia. After a period of Dutch and French rule, it became part of the Kingdom of Hanover in 1814. Now it consists of several districts within the federal state of Lower Saxony in the Federal Republic of Germany. Harlingerland was a seigneury, inherited by the Count of East Frisia in 1600. Jever was a seigneury, annexed by the County of Oldenburg in 1573 and, after a prolonged period of Saxony-Anhalt, Russian, Dutch and French rule, reunited with Oldenburg in 1814. It is now part of the district of Friesland within the federal state of Lower Saxony. Nerphausen was a seigneury, split off from the County of Oldenburg in 1667 and reunited with its surroundings in 1854. Saterland was a tiny Frisian district under the Prince-Bishop of Mar 1/4 Nster, in 1814 assigned to the Kingdom of Hanover. Buttgerdingen was a coastal republic, a remnant of the largely submerged district of Ra 1/4 Stringen. It was conquered by the Count of Oldenburg in 1514. After a period of Danish rule, it became part of the Duchy of Oldenburg in 1774, which remained a more or less independent state within the Holy German Empire until 1918. Buttgerdingen is now part of the district of Wesermarsch within the federal state of Lower Saxony. Landwessen was a coastal republic, conquered by the Prince-Bishop of Bremen in 1525. It became part of the Duchy of Bremen-Verden. The latter was, after a period of Swedish rule, integrated into the Kingdom of Hanover in 1715. It is now part of the district of Cuxhaven within the federal state of Lower Saxony. North Frisia correspond originally to the Uppland in the Kingdom of Denmark. Later North Frisia became a part of the Danish Duchy of Schleswig and of the royal enclaves of the Kingdom of Denmark. The duchy was conquered by Prussia in 1864. Now it forms a district within the federal state of Schleswig-Holstein. Helgoland is part of the district of Pinneberg. North Frisia was at no time part of the Holy Roman Empire. Flag. Although the Frisian regions have their own separate flags, Frisia has not historically had a flag of its own. The flag for United Frisia, known as the Inter-Frisian flag, was launched in September 2006 by the group Fan or Work, which supports a United Frisia as a recognized country. The flag is inspired by the Nordic cross flag. The 4 Pumpbladen are derived from the 7 Pumpbladen on the Friesland flag, but the number represents the 3 separate Frisian regions plus Groningen. The flag was not accepted by the Inter-Frisian Council. Atlas. In 2009, a Frisian edition of the National Bosatlas, De Bosatlas van Frisla Centen was published. Bosatlas van Frisla Centen is completely dedicated to the Dutch province of Friesland, with historical and modern maps, aerophotography and background information on hundreds of topics. It also contains a complete set of topographical maps, in the most detailed scale. See also, Isla Fria Frisiana, Fries, Frisian Islands, Frisian languages, Frisian Frankish wars, Frisians, list of rulers of Frisia, German Bight, Jutland, Wadden Sea. Notes. References. Bibliography Albert Bantelman, Rolf Kuschert, Albert Panton, Thomas Steenson, Gestschik Nordfrieslands 2, Deutsches. U. Aktualisiert Westfalst. Verlag Sandstall Boyens, Heiden Holstein 1996, ISBN 3-8042-0759-6. Thomas Steenson, Gestschik Nordfrieslands von 1918 bis in die Gegenwart. Neuesk, Nordfriesinstitut, Bra Currency ist Bredstedt 2006, ISBN 3-88007-336-8. Stefan Krah Paragraph Ger, Das Ostfriesland Lexikon. Ian Unterhalt Sames Nachschlagewerk, ist in Sie Verlag, Oldenburg 2006, Ostfriesland im Schutz des Deiches. Beitragskörrency Geiser Kultur und Wirtschaftsgeschichte des Ostfriesischen K1 HRSG im Auftrag der Niederemsischen Dichaged, 12 Bar Currency NDE, Selbstverlag, Pusamu. A. 1969, Onno Club, Geschichte Ostfrieslands, 3 BDE, Hanover 1854 Euro 1858, Hajo van Lengen, Ostfriesland, Kultur und Landschaft, Spiegel Verlag, Essen 1978, Hajo van Lengen, Die Friesische Freiheit des Mittelalters a Euro Lebanon Legend, Verlag Ostfriesische Landschaft 2003, ISBN 3-932206-30-4, Franz Karowski, Das Volk Mira Euro Die Dramatische Geschichte der Friesen, Tar 1/4 RMER Verlag 1984, ISBN 3-87829-082. -9, Karl Krummer, Die Geschichte Ostfrieslands. Ian Alberblick, Isensee, Oldenburg, Hermann Hohmann, Ostfriesland a Euro Inselm, Watt und K1/4 Stelland, F. Koppenrath Verlag, Ma 1/4 NSTER, Manfred Skutsch, Historischer Atlas Deutschland, ISBN 3-8289-0358-4, Karl Ernst Beer/Hajo van Lengen, Ostfriesland. Geschichte und Gestaltung einer Kulturlandschaft, Aurich 1995, ISBN 3-925365-85-0, Tieck, Martin, Biographisches Lexikon für 1/4 Ostfriesland, Ostfries. Landschaftliche Verlag. Vertrichtes. Aurich, Volume 1 ISBN 3-925365-75-3, Volume 2 ISBN 3-932206-00-2, Volume 3 ISBN 3-932206-22-3. External links, geofrisia.com a Euro into Frisian geographical portal, map of Frisia at Euro Minority U.